Representatives of UNICEF and Giga partnered with the ministries of Education and Public Utilities to support Belize's effort to provide internet access to every Belizean child. Giga, a UNICEF International Telecommunication Union initiative, supports engagement and governance around schools' connectivity and provides technical assistance to map schools' internet access. Giga's representative, Sophia Farrar, explained that connecting every student will place them on the same level as every other child who already enjoys having internet information at their fingertips.
1 out of 3 people globally don't have access to the internet. That is the equivalent of 2.7 billion people. Or another sad number is that nearly half of the world's schools don't have access to the internet, which is the equivalent of about 500 million students and young people. But we can think about the ways that internet becomes a connector with the students, the teachers, and also the community around it. And as Giga, we really hope to work with you to kind of bridge that connection, to connect to the e-governance initiatives already ongoing, to think about how that school connectivity can connect to disaster relief and recovery. There are so many different use cases for this connectivity, and I think that we underappreciate the value that it brings to Belize.
UNICEF's representative to Belize, Alison Parker, explained that the organization is trying to make a difference because there is a clear disparity in the number of children who don't have access to the internet.
We could not re-emphasize or further emphasize why it is so important to bridge the inequities that have been so glaring as we emerged from the COVID-19 pandemic. It cuts across both developed and developing countries in terms of rural-urban, in terms of gender considerations, in terms of those most left behind, those affected by conflict, those from minorities and indigenous communities, those who've never been able to access the most minimal device or even understand what those mean. And this is a fundamental opportunity for us to bridge that divide.
UNICEF Belize, Giga, and government have developed a work plan and have done preparatory work for the first phase of mapping. For their respective part, CEO in the Ministry of Public Utilities, Jose Urbina, and Minister of Education, Francis Fonseca, explained today how their ministries will work together to provide children with internet access.
There's a lot of potential, a lot of need. When we look at almost 28 rural communities that need electricity, we need to ask ourselves, how do we achieve 100%? Like us discussing how do we achieve 100% of school connectivity, we also need to look at how do we correlate that with electrification, because they go hand in hand. And how do we highlight the priorities when we look at which schools would be next? How do we relate that to the BL expansion plan? How do we relate that to the ministry's perspective in terms of which village will be electrified next through PV solar or mini grids, as we refer to it in the ministry?
Building a robust technology infrastructure across the education system is a key strategic imperative of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Science and Technology. The aim is to make innovative use of science and technology to transform teaching and learning. The ministry has invested in training teachers to integrate technology into their instruction. However, many students are unable to benefit from this initiative due to lack of access to appropriate digital learning devices. Access to digital learning devices and, of course, the internet will increase the quality and equity of Belize's education system.
But if we can gauge how far along we are as a country in doing our part, Farrar said Belize is certainly ahead in the region.
I feel like Belize is going to absolutely beat that target. You are definitely ahead of many places that we work with. So we're so excited to work alongside you and amplify the incredible work that's already in progress here in Belize.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.